Well, the president of France says the U.S. can count on him. Nicolas Sarkozy continued his first official visit to the United States. With another first, he addressed a joint session of Congress and said France stands with the U.S. against Iran's nuclear program. He also spoke about his country's commitment to the mission in Afghanistan.
We will not pull out of Afghanistan because what is at stake here is the solidity of our alliance. And ultimately, what is at stake here is the fight against terror. We're thinking about the best way to help bring about a democratic Afghanistan. Is it by stepping up our training efforts so that we lay the groundwork or the basis of a modern Afghan state?
The CBC's Henry Champ joins me now from Washington. Henry, while we were listening to the Prime Minister in Vancouver, you were listening to the French President in Washington. What did he say?
Well, he said all the things that George Bush wanted him to say. He said it's unacceptable to France that Iran will have nuclear weapons. That's a plus as far as Washington's concerned. He says no matter how long it takes, the French will stay in Afghanistan. And that, too, is a plus. Now, mind you, we Canadians are a bit critical of the French role in Afghanistan. They are in a pretty safe place, relatively safe in Afghanistan, in Kabul. They are not part of the unified command. And on the issue of Iran, it must be said that the French favor dialogue, which many Americans believe is not necessarily proving any results. But what we have here is a man who's learned to master the fine art of disagreement without antagonism. And that's a lot better than what we saw with Jacques Chirac, say many Americans, and they really like this guy.
Seems like a return to a French tradition of diplomacy and almost a very gentle way of dealing with their ally. Interesting, when he talked to the joint session of Congress, I understand what you're saying. He would in the same sentence, he would give this wonderful commemoration to this long-standing relationship with the United States, and then sort of quietly chide them on things like greenhouse gases.
Exactly, and that was one of the things that he has brought up. But different than Jacques Chirac and perhaps other recent French leaders, he has a tendency to make sure there's fulsome praise first, a clear understanding of the difficulties the Americans face, a reminder of our deep friendship, you and me, George, but then in comes the zinger. And it's working, because I think the White House is sorely needed friends around the world, particularly world leaders who are not aggressive, antagonistic, or complaining about what's going on.
Sure.
And I think they see Sarkozy replacing Tony Blair as their best international friend.
Very interesting, Henry. Thanks for this.
You bet.
Henry Champ in Washington.